Hello everybody and welcome to another Peteman Reviews. Today we have Masterpiece Optimus Prime. This is actually the Convoy version of MP10. Apparently the difference are, I haven't had any of the other MP versions of Prime, but apparently this one is slightly smaller, so slightly more on scale with the other Masterpiece Transformers, and also has slightly more detailing on the cap. If we just view in, you get some idea of just the actual level of detail on this guy. It goes without saying, by far, I think he's probably the best Transformer you can get out there. The detailing is second to none. There is literally everything you could want in the toy is here. It's fully like the original version of Optimus Prime, but more up to date with little gimmicks, little extras. Quite a complex transformation, but one would expect that from a Masterpiece version. I mean, really, this is not aimed at kids at all. It's aimed at adults who've watched the originals and who like Optimus Prime and have the time and the money to buy him because he ain't cheap either. So we'll just go over the trailer and the truck mode. As you can see, proper wheels, big chunky wheels too. Really good movement, very nice articulation level as well. Compare this with the commemorative version of the trailer. I know the colour scheme on the commemorative version is a little bit pale, but you just get an example idea of the size of Prime against how he originally was. The cab is currently transformed into Prime mode, as you can see, in order to demonstrate between the robots. A little bit of an unfair demonstration, I admit, but it just gives you some idea of the scale of Masterpiece Optimus Prime or Masterpiece Convoy and the original G1 toy. I particularly like on this, aside from all this fact that all the insignia, they're almost, I know they're plastic, but they look enamelled on, so they're properly raised, they're detailed and everything. Onto the trailer itself. Now, one thing that's really beneficial, you see like this in this mode, it does sag a bit. You could have the base wheels out to stabilise it. This one actually has in here little legs which fold out like that, fold out again. By the way, this is the tilting turntable that actually goes into Optimus Prime, so that hooks it up, and there you are. Suddenly you now have a trailer that's stable like that. What's also particularly impressive of these are the landing legs, so the refinement of this version. And if you'll notice, as they zoom out, they actually self-extend as well to provide the landing leg, which is brilliant. Again, just little touches like that you wouldn't expect to see that work well. Now onto the trailer itself. I mean, just look at the detail here. You've actually got proper lights and everything. This, nothing. It's fine for what it is. Door open and everything. You wouldn't expect anything to be magnificent, given that that was the original toy, but this has all that detail on it. Again, for the money, you'd expect it. Doors that actually open is another nice part. They are a little bit tricky to open sometimes, but they actually have proper doors that open like that. We've never had that before in a Prime, except the other Masterpiece version. And then that comes down there. And you also get roller with a mini version of Spike, which is quite neat as well. So finally we get the little man that goes inside. So that's roller. As you can see, he also does have some articulation here. A little bit tricky. There we are. That opens like that, and that comes out, and there you are. Roller has some articulation. With this little bit here, it means that Roller can actually pull the trailer by himself. So that would actually hook onto there, and then you can have Roller pull the trailer too, which is a nice little touch as well. Something that's probably that would be meaningless, very simple to forget, not meaningless, but very easy to forget, overlook. It's just a nice little touch. You still have the original spokes here, but they don't do anything now, which is a bit of a shame. The trailer itself opens up as normal, and inside you have, again, the old original Prime had this. Oops, doesn't mind. That's it. It's all meant to do that. Not meant to do that. So apologies. as you can see, sometimes these things are a little bit on the tricky side, but there we are, that just slots back in. So it has the original part here from the, I guess this is the Diaclone era. It doesn't really serve any function other than it's for those who had the originals and liked it and have now bought this. Prime also comes with his gigantic axe for dueling with Megatron, and that actually stores in here, which is quite neat. If I just hold the trailer up, so you've still got these which are reminiscent of the original Diaclones for little people. You don't have all the pictures and all the screens anymore. You just got these weird Cybertronian inserts. That's a little bit of a shame. I did quite like having little screens, so that's a little bit of a loss for me. And while he would easily take Masterpiece cars or any other one, there isn't actually anywhere to roll it to slot. And when this goes up, he has to be loose, because there isn't anywhere for him to go. So you might have heard that rattle around a bit. What is a nice touch, you've got little slots there and little slots there, so that when you put the trailer up, that can actually sit outside. I won't close it all the way, but that actually sits outside, so you could have this as a command hub outside. This also has little holes here for guns, but it doesn't actually come with any missiles to go in, and there's no firing mechanism. So I'm not quite sure, other than the historical function, what those are. So we'll just take the trailer away for the moment, and move on to Optimus himself. Now, the actual truck is extremely detailed. This opens up, and you can see there's a little seat there. You can actually stick Spike in there if you wanted to. Why not go ahead and do that? So Spike actually has more articulation than most of the original Transformers were, in that he can move, his arms move up and down, and his legs, he's got knees. He doesn't have elbows, but he can actually move, and you can actually have Spike sat inside Optimus Prime, which is quite neat. There we are. So in terms of transforming Prime, he's not easy to transform. Well, he's relatively easy in that it's just complicated. There's lots to do. You don't sit there and struggle. It just takes a little while. So bear with me. So to begin with, obviously he's got his little wing mirrors. They just fold over like that. I find it's probably easiest to do the legs first because a lot of this detaches. He's got this grille here, but it's actually a fake grille in that it's only used for this mode. There's a different one. You can see underneath here for in robot mode. As you can see, it is a slightly different shape. So this gives you all the articulation, not articulation, it gives you all the detail for the cab mode, and that's incredibly detailed. And then this gives you the detail for the robot mode. So these just slide out the way. Rotates up, slide out the way, rotate up. His legs actually pull out, so you've got, see this little grey bit here, you just push that in ever so slightly, and then the leg pops out, and again the other side, push that in ever so slightly, and the leg pops out. Now, you've got a flap here, try and get the angle so you can see, there we are, flap there, this rotates up, and provides a guard over his wheels. Same on the other side. You've then got in the middle here another flap here. This rotates up and round, so you should have on this side the legs like that. Same on this side, and then these are Prime's feet. Flip up. Same again. Flip up. There we are. Now the whole thing does need to twist round. We won't do that just yet. But that's basically Prime's legs. So now on to this part, the cab mode. This is where things get, they're not exactly difficult, they're just a little bit tricky. So you want to, this actually hooks onto here, so you just need to slightly, it helps to push this in. This then flips up, the actual lights move out as well, and again, and then this flips down, and that flips down. So what you need to be able to do is then try to remove these parts, because these are actually Prime's arms, which quite a neat trick, because that's almost where they are in the actual robot you see on TV. Flip up, you see there's the hand inside, flip up again, there we go. So as you can see, we're starting to get somewhere here. This is starting to look like it's the right move for it. Helps at this point to take Prime's head out. It's the fairly normal rotating head. You see quite a lot. Chest needs to stay out. That flips up there. Now, you don't know how easily this is to see, but the actual chest panel is slotted into that. That needs to come off there, but before you can do that, we need to get these out of the way. So, rotate it round, rotate it up, and you see now this becomes part of Prime's robot mode, almost his waist. No, it's not his waist, it's kind of his chest. Up, rotate, flip up like that. Now this will then just flip up, and that slots like that. And then rotate the legs. You can close his chest at this point as well if you want. These parts of Prime's head do move round, which is good because sometimes they do get moved. At the back here you've got all this gubbins, it just flips up like that, and then these flip in here, gets them out of the way. Same deal with this one, flip, flip. As for his hands, you might have seen other Transformers like this. It's becoming more and more common on the more recent ones, is to actually have the arms so they rotate a bit, and the hands can be stored inside the arms. Gets them out of the way and gives you more room for articulated hands without having just, well, most ones were just a hole that you pegged the gun in. There we have it. Optimus Prime in all his glory. The legs do come on hinges like that, or not the legs, the feet come on hinges like that, so you can pose him in different areas than that. He looks great. He's not finished, not by a long shot. Start off then with his energy axe. As you can see, there's a slight impression of his hand there, and that literally slots over. I think it only works on this side, but that looks really good. You can manoeuvre him, you can make him his arms, his waist twists, head obviously full movement like that. Get him in kind of jousting pose. Now, Toy World produced Megatron. It actually scales quite well with Prime, in that Megatron, the robot Megatron was always a little bit shorter than Prime, and that actually fits quite well. What also works quite nicely with Hegemon is he comes with his mace. So you could actually have the two in that. Again, it's a little bit mismatched for poor old Megatron, in that Prime's axe is easily the size of most of Megatron. On the other hand, Megatron has quite a large gun, so I think he can balance out. But the two work quite well together. Obviously, they weren't made to work with each other. One's an official Masterpiece toy, one's a third-party toy, but the two do scale quite well. And then we compare him with the G1 version. Good as the G1 version is, there just isn't really a comparison. What's nice on this is they've taken everything that made this toy good, and then just gone, okay, so this is what the cartoon looked like, this is what the movie looked like, let's make our version of Prime pay homage to this one, but actually look like he did in the other one, in the cartoon. Worked really well. Now, Masterpiece Prime pays quite a lot of homage to the movie as well, Transformers the movie. So you remember when he attacks the Decepticons and Prime charges towards them? I notice this leg's not quite fully extended. You can see that's there. You just need to push this in if this happens. And there we are, and that comes out fully. You can have it partially extended if you want, but it allows him to do slightly more poses. Let's say, you remember when Prime first arrives on Autobot City Earth and he drives through the Decepticons? As he transforms, he reaches back and out comes his gun, which this has. So this flips down and inside is his gun. That flips back up. This has got a nice little mechanism. You can see that little grey mark there. You press that and snaps out into place, which is quite impressive. It's got little tabs on the side, and if you look at Prime's hand, there's little tabs, so that slots in there. Again, this is more common now on more and more Transformers, so they actually hold the guns so that they don't flop out like that. They actually hold the guns rather than just have them slot into their hands. So that's Prime now with his gun. Of course, you also remember with the movie Prime had the Matrix. So does this guy as well. So his chest opens. Now this is a little bit tricky to take out, but this bit flips up as it does for a trailer, and you can see you can just see a glint of the matrix inside. So this is probably the difficult part. Open that to reveal the matrix, but actually getting the matrix out can be quite tricky. You kind of have to push it in one side and release it the other. Release it the other side, and it doesn't quite want to give it up. Obviously it's not Prime's time yet. So it is well hooked in there, and frankly that's not a bad thing, given that you don't really want the matrix falling out. Here we go, it is coming. It's just, say, a very tight hook. It's not really something you want to have flying out when you transform in your Prime. It's a really tight hook in there. There we are. So that's now come out. And that is the matrix. So if I move Prime out of the way, then this should focus fully on it. If you just shine it towards the light, as you can see, it actually glows, which is good. The whole thing is basically just chrome. Chrome and in gold and silver. And it's just solid metal. It's not particularly heavy, but it looks really good. And you can have Prime with the matrix, or you could give it to Galvatron or Ultra Magnus, whatever. The Prime can actually hold the matrix as well, which is quite nice. I gather on the box art it actually shows him giving it to Rodimus or to Hot Rod. I don't have Masterpiece Rodimus or Hot Rod, so I can't reenact that, but you'll just have to trust it. This then slots back into here. It slots back in a lot easier than it does to take out. Flips back down, and there we are. Now, remember I said about the trailer earlier? Just take Prime's gun off, because the trailer, bring that back, is designed in such a way that Prime can actually lie in it quite comfortably. It fits quite well in there, and potentially you could be healed, or you could reenact scenes where he's giving them up the matrix. It also works if we just do that, with him standing up in it as well. And again, it's exactly the same thing. You can have that as a repair arm actually repairing it. So it's something that I never even considered doing with the original Prime. I don't know if it would even work. While we're here, why not try it? So the original Prime's trailer. Remember I said about the nice little stickers here and that? It does look a bit wimpy compared to the other one, doesn't it? You could stand that one up like that. You could have Prime stood in this trailer, but it really is Prime stood in his trailer in the original, whereas that one does look a lot more like it's meant to fit. And I guess the alien symbols, the alien, all this side works quite well with the robot, whereas these bits, as good as those stickers are, they don't really do anything. But it's just quite a nice comparison again. It's something that I would never have considered doing with the original Prime, but it works really well with the Masterpiece version. So there we go, that's Masterpiece Optimus Prime. He doesn't come with kibble, he comes with accessories that make sense. You know, everything that you saw in the original Prime he comes with. I can't really think of anything to fault it from. Not that I'm looking to fault it, but there is nothing you can think of, oh, I wish they'd done this, I wish they'd included that. I mean, the detail is absolutely perfect. You just look at the detail on him. There is nothing on there you sit there going, I wish they'd given me this, or, you know, I wish I'd had his axe. You've got his axe. I wish he had his gun. You've got his gun. You've got Roller, who hardly ever appeared. Perhaps, having said that, perhaps some missiles on there, but Prime never really had missiles on there. The original one does, but I don't actually recall us ever seeing him use them. Do you? I certainly don't. It's a top-notch toy. It's probably the best of the Transformer toys. It looks absolutely fantastic. It is a bit expensive. You would expect to pay 3 figures for this. If you're in the UK, I'm sure it's the same anywhere you go. But it works. It's definitely worth it. Is it an investment or is it a toy? I suppose you could argue it either way, couldn't you? In 20 years' time, lots of people will have this, but I reckon it will hold its value because of the quality of it. There's nothing there that feels like it's going to snap. There's nothing there that you sit there and you're thinking, oh, this is rubbing off now. It works, and it works right the way through. So there we are. So that's Masterpiece MP10 Convoy, or Optimus Prime. Definitely worth getting hold of, and definitely worth displaying. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave any comments below, and please comment the links as normal. Thank you very much. Goodbye.